Thank you so much for being part of like Gem from the Sea,
My pleasure,
the
man.
new show.
My pleasure.
You have one of those last names that I like to play with. Like, if I remove the K from your last name, it comes out like Starman,
Starman.
which is David Bowie. It's like
Listen,
pretty fascinating.
people just call me Starkman. It's one of those names, you just say it. It's
I
got
like that, yeah.
Starkman.
Could be. Starkman. Have you seen Starkman
Starkman's
recently?
an asshole. Sometimes we're Starkman's nice.
It is. I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You're breaking the fourth wall right now because you're looking at Joy. It's like
Fuck it. I'm getting all kinds.
All kinds of
I
wall,
play to the
man.
crowd, man.
all kinds of wall. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have a journey through your waters, the creative waters, like sailing 7 questions, like the 7 seas.
I suspect there's going to be some nautical metaphors in this. Is that right?
It's filled with like
Okay.
nautical metaphor.
Bring
man.
it. Bring me
it.
all the nautical
Because
metaphors.
we believe that everybody's an ocean, and to know somebody, you need to cross the ocean. How about that?
Ah, okay. Cross my ocean. Cross it.
It's like the Panama Canal. Please
Cross it.
go ahead.
Cross it.
Okay. You are here at London International Awards as a part of the Ambient and Activation Billboard poster, a print jury.
Yeah, that's a
That
lot
is
of
long,
things. It's
man.
a lot
It's
of
like a
things.
mountain to
Yeah,
judge.
yeah.
There are a little over 3,600 billboards in Vegas. I don't know if you know the stat, but
I did not know that.
well, now you know. And the sphere is arguably the most iconic of them all. If you were given the sphere
Yeah.
for an entire week, what would you do with it? What message, image, or experience would you want to project for everyone to see?
That's the first question. Huh? That's a tough one.
Yeah.
What's the best answer you've gotten so far?
No, questions
Is it-
are
is this-
individual.
this-
So I actually, for this show, I wrote over 100 questions. So
You wrote this just for me.
yes, just for you.
Shit, that's a hard
So
question.
these questions are only for
Okay.
you.
Okay. I have a strange answer.
I welcome strange answer.
Okay. There's a fine line between what we do and annoying people.
Okay.
And I've been to New York 50 times. And if you can believe it, I had never been to Times Square until my last trip to New York.
No way.
True story.
Wow.
Yeah, I just, our office was in Chelsea. Now it's in Dumbo.
Chelsea Market?
Yep. Yeah.
I worked there.
Yeah, did you?
At Chelsea Market, yeah.
Good
I worked
sandwiches.
there. Yeah, there was like Bobby Flay there. No, the Food Network is there. So every morning I will walk inside Chelsea Market, and there will be like all the people from the Food Network, including Bobby Flay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So first time in Times Square, and I got to tell you, not a fan. Not a fan. There's a lot coming at you. Right. It's an overload of the senses, a little bit like the place we're at. It's a bit much. Mm-hmm. So if I could do something, I'd turn that thing off. I was looking at some.
I like that.
If in my jury, I was looking at some work, and one of the ideas was I think it was in Panama City, and they actually it was for a decaf coffee or something, and they actually turned off this glowing billboard because it annoyed the hell out of people. Mm-hmm. So I'm a fan of not annoying people. That brand, did something to not annoy consumers, and
does the hotel room? Your hotel room does face like the sphere. Can you see the sphere from your?
No,
room? I can actually see it this year so well that like when I go to sleep, when I lay down to sleep, I have it right in front of me.
Yeah.
And at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, they turn it off, and it become a moon. That's it.
That's
and
nice.
It stay as a moon for like up until like I think 6 o'clock in the morning.
That's
so
cool.
That's a really good answer. Like I like the fact that you shut it down.
Yeah, because I love advertising. I want consumers to love advertising, and I don't like shoving it down their throats. and I don't want the industry to shove it down people's throats. Now, it's cool right now. The sphere is cool, but I think very soon it's going to turn into a bit of Times Square, just everything coming at you. It's just like another thing that I'm going to ignore.
There is a writer I'm very fond of, and I grew up with these writers' books. His name is like George Louis Borges. He's an Argentinian writer. While recovering from an accident on Christmas Eve in 1938, Borges began exploring a new style of writing for which he then became like famous. His style was like brevity, precision, and it was like a unique blend of fact and fiction. Has it ever happened to you that after an event, a defining event, it doesn't have to be tragic, but after a defining event in your career, in your life, your creativity has taken like a change, and like, you know, something happened that you developed something in your creative process from it?
I can go two ways with this.
Right.
I can go personal tragedy, which you may not want, or I can go work tragedy, but they both have influenced me.
I mean, it's like I always like lean on personal, but I don't want to like force anything that's like too painful for you. So like,
all right, I'm going to give you the personal. So I did. So there's two kinds of people in this world.
right,
People who have had a really good childhood, and those who are funny. I'm funny
because you had a good childhood.
because I had a terrible childhood.
A terrible childhood.
So
Terrible.
you missed the joke.
Terrible.
That's the joke.
How terrible.
Maybe I'm not that funny. I didn't land it.
Yeah,
Okay. So yeah, listen. I like many people in advertising, a bit of a rough childhood. My dad was an alcoholic. He's been sober for 30 years. Got a great relationship with my dad right now. But growing up was tough, and I had to. In the midst of the yelling, I had to find something to get away from it, like just to survival, mental survival. So I would block it out, like athletes. If their crowd is booing, they block out the noise.
Or in the headphones.
I blocked it out, and what I did, there's a lot of yelling in my house. My mom I wasn't hit or anything, but my mom was yelling at my dad a lot. And I found creativity through that.
Wow.
I used to do little doodles I found a little spot behind my bed, and it was a good hiding spot too. But I used to just hide in there and do little cartoons and things like that. And that is an external event that caused fast creativity.
Right.
It caused me to be creative quickly. I had to. Ever since then, I've been calm under pressure, like I was in those moments. Something was going on, and it caused me to be focused, to be creative. The crazier it got, the more creative I got. I remember I can recall doing like race cars and great ideas, cartoons, and the worse shit that was going on, the better I was. That's true how I am in the office, and it's also propelled me to really embrace a bit of the chaos that's going on in the world of advertising, and create a system and foster an environment where when there is a lot of stuff going on, good, bad, pitch, bad stuff in the industry, layoffs, people have a system where they can be creative quickly, right? And we do something at Rethink called go then grow. I don't want to be selly or pitchy. This is just a personal story, but like this is the kind of creative process that I react to, where it's like I want to be able to come up with ideas fast, and everything we do at Rethink enables creatives to come up with ideas fast, for those ideas to go to the market fast, and in a weird way, it is rooted in a shitty childhood.
It's so interesting because there are many examples of like creative minds that had like very tough childhood. One of them I remember, like there is Marlon Brando was an actor that I truly admire, and like I was reading his story, and like his wife, his mom was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And part of his job when he was like a young kid was like to hop from bar to bar trying to find his mom and bring her back home. And the only time that his mom wasn't yelling at him and was laughing, it was when he was acting, when he was actually mimicking the sound of the forest, and the animals that live in the forest. They live like in Omaha, Nebraska, so there were a lot of woods area and prairies. And that's how he developed his skill. And so for him, like acting became like a survival mechanism. And of course, then became probably the greatest actor of time. But I think like there is also like a saying that goes like everything happened in your childhood, and like after a certain moment, like everything you are later in life, it all come from your childhood. There is nothing else that come from your adult age. Everything is like, it comes from there.
Everything comes from there, for sure.
Okay, so I've tried so hard to keep myself from falling back into my bad old ways. And it chars my heart, it breaks my heart to always hear you calling for the good old days. These lyrics are by Pete Doherty, the frontman of the Libertines. He's an English singer, and he got famous for the wrong reason. He was like, for a brief moment, the boyfriend of Kate Moss. If you consider the body of work of this guy and like the way he writes, it's truly like close to a genius. Unfortunately, he's a drug addict. He was a drug addict.
A lot of geniuses are drug addicts.
The first time I read those words, I couldn't help but think about those in our industry who reminisce about the good old days, often trying to drag into like this kind of like melancholic waters they want to sail, But do you think there is even such a thing as the good old days? Or do you think
I was hoping you were going to ask me about the good old days. I was hoping that's where that was going. I'm going to give you a fucking honest answer.
Right.
And it's going to take a while. But it's from my heart and from my guts. And I just had this conversation with someone downstairs. Okay. I'll start way back to what the good old days were for me. Why I miss them and why I want them back.
Right.
And it's going to be a bit of an indictment on this industry, what I'm about to say.
Right.
So brace yourself.
I brace myself.
Okay. So when I got in advertising, I remember I went to like an orientation at an ad school, and I was like blown away. I knew I had to do it. I didn't know much about advertising. But the program coordinator, Anthony Calumet, he showed some work from his students, and I was like, oh my God, that is so much better than the shit I see in the subway. And he was like showing the best of the best, and I was like, I have to do this. I didn't know you can go into a field that wasn't Hollywood script writing, where you can just make people laugh and do really funny things and entertain the shit out of them. What a privilege to do that. And then I'm in the business, and I didn't know anything about awards at all. Okay, and then I'm in the business about a year, and I do some things that are good, and it's like the main thing is people at other agencies are like, hey, did you do that thing? You do that commercial? He's like, yeah, I did, and that was so good. It felt so amazing. And then I found out you can win awards for your good work. That's even better. And then, sure enough, the first commercial I did, it won a big award. I won a Gold Lion. I didn't know the extent of how awesome that was to the industry and why that's good for your career, but I quickly found out that's a really good thing to win a Gold Lion for a TV commercials. My second Gold Lion was for a radio commercial. I'm taking you on a journey that shows you that I'm old, but also when advertising was pure and it was the good old days. And so let me continue on with this journey. The third Gold Lion I won was for a case study. My first case study. Okay. I had to figure that out. This one was different. I remember it well. David Droga, who's a hero of mine, he did a case study. The first one I ever really noticed or saw was for the TAP project. I don't know. You remember that? Yeah, the tap water project. Anyways, I was like, whoa. He's packaging it together, and he put it in this video for juries, and that's cool. And then there's all these case studies, including the one from me, my first. So then it became about case studies, and then along the way, we spent a lot of time doing case studies, and instead of doing the thing that I was in love with back to me just going to school and being like, oh my God, you could do this fun stuff, and sure, you could win an award for a thing that is so fun. How amazing is that? And now it's case studies. And what's even worse is the case studies. Listen, there's so many good case studies, but like I'm in a printer and I'm looking at case studies. Yeah, you could edit this out, but like I've been vocal about it. I told Can too, don't do case studies for print. It's crazy. Right. Like let's just look at the print. Now there's something that's happening in the industry that it needs to be addressed. I'm not talking about any Can controversies or anything like that. Every year around September, it seems like there's all these causes that are popping up and people find causes. Yeah. Right? And it seems like a genuine thing. And I think it started out there. When Droga did the TAP project, I don't think he was doing that for awards. I think he was doing that to help people. He had a great idea about water, and it was great. I think there's so much of the industry right now is being celebrated for helping humanity and helping the world, and it's so fucking hypocritical because it's coming from a place of absolutely. Let's win an award, and in the process of helping my personal brand out, the agency out, the point system, in the process of winning this award, I'm going to exploit a community, right. A group, a disease, a disability, of course, and then it's celebrated as noble, and I'm like, whoa, is there a lower life form than that? Like when you do that, we're heading to, advertising and used car salespeople. Right. Work on the same.
It's a vicious mechanism because what happened is often, not just because I'm a creative or I worked in a creative department, but often it's the blame on creative. But I think the mechanism is so vicious that if you are not creative that has awards in the resume, you are not allowed to apply for certain kind of job. You're not allowed to get to certain kind of agency. Clients only approach certain kind of agency based on that. So it's literally a vicious circle that can't be broken anymore. And it seems that it's running a loop, and all we are is just like hamster on wheels, pretty much. And we keep going and going and going, and and the outcome is this hypocritical approach where everything get exploited in the name of awards because those are like the currency for like most of the agency to move on. I mean, it's like and it's secret, it's not even a secret, right? It's in front of everybody's eyes. Everybody knows that. Some of us speak louder than others, but there is not much action to be made about that. And so I think like coming back to the good old days, I do remember. Like I think like most of the majority of the industry has forgotten like why we got into
Why
this
did
industry.
you get into it? I bumped into
for the
as
first place,
as I was coming up to talk to you. I bumped into someone. I didn't know she was coming. She's from my agency. She's in her first year in advertising, and I saw that look in her face.
But she's already judging.
No, she's not judging. She's
okay.
here. No, she's
Okay.
she's a young creative, and she's here to observe. So she was going to be. She tried to get in my jury room tomorrow, like to observe, but she couldn't do it. But what I see in her eyes, what I saw in my eyes when I started, and that was just like, this is awesome.
Right.
All right. I hope that she doesn't lose that.
Right.
Because of some of the things that I'm feeling, that the industry's feeling, and in light of what happened at Cannes, there was a controversy, but it opened up Pandora's box, and I'm glad it did because it might just be a wake up call for the industry, just to say, hey, okay, forget AI manipulation, all this shit. What if we just like remember when you got into it?
Right.
And it was about the work.
Right.
And you did cool things. And
yeah, no, of course.
You weren't searching for, some shit.
It's a paradox too. I remember the first time I came to the States. My first city was Los Angeles. I'm a European guy. I grew up in Rome, and like we never see the sky the same way it's looked through the eyes of a California person, because the sky here is like majestic and it's like overpowering and it's like so empty and so vast. You don't get that kind of sky in Italy because you are dealing with a city, and so like there is a lot of buildings and you have patches of sky. So I remember the first time I landed in Los Angeles, the first thing I noticed was the sky, and I told myself, I hope that I can keep this look for as long as I can. I can actually wake up every morning and think about, this is awesome.
You're in San Diego now?
I live in San Diego, but
the
now
sky's even better.
The sky's even better, but now it became too familiar, right? Like became, that's what my home. Now I have the reverse effect. Now every time I visit my parents in Italy, now I can see how narrow the streets are. Now I can see how small the sky is. Now I can see what I couldn't see, right? And it's like, so it takes a lot of products to maintain that kind of level of ingenuity and innocence. It's like you have to manufacture your soul in a certain kind of way that you reason that way, because everything in life get into a habit, right? Like if I walk into your house, like every house, there is a particular smell, but you cannot smell it because that's the smell of your life.
Sure.
But I can, because I don't live your life. But if I'm gonna stay in your house for longer than a month, that smell, the intensity is gonna decrease. To the point that at one point I wouldn't smell it anymore.
You'll just smell burgers and grilled cheese.
Yeah, right. Anyway, that's a very good answer. We could talk like for a long time, but I like the way, like, the honesty of it. A long time ago, the region where Las Vegas now stands was not a desert, but it was underwater actually, like everything else.
Oh yeah?
Right. Yeah. Covered by a shallow sea. I'm talking about 250 million years ago. These seas advanced and retreated, forming like sediments that hardened right? Your chair at this very moment, 250 million years ago, was sitting atop a water.
Mm.
So now, when we think in this term, everything is put into perspective and then now absorb a totally different meaning. Does thinking that everything evolves
Mm.
narrow or widen your sense of the present moments? Does it become smaller or bigger? How does this affect your look upon life in general or like your creativity?
Shit, I don't think I get this question. So yeah.
Everything change and everything evolve. We just touch upon this with the evolving of the industry, right?
Okay, cool.
Right.
Okay.
And
got an editing
there is,
machine?
yeah, there is only a certain amount, there's only a fragment of time called present that you can catch.
Yeah.
Does this affect you as a creative?
That things are going to change.
That things gonna change, and how do you, like the age, for instance, like the industry itself?
Yeah.
We have been saying like for years now it's going through a change, but this change is getting faster and faster and faster. How does it affect you? I know already a little bit because you already gave me like a little bit of an answer talking about like, you know, what we think is the good old days, but as a creative mind, as a someone who writes, like going
Yeah.
back to your trade, how does this affect you? Does it affect, for instance, the way your creative, the way you come up with ideas?
Well, I've been doing this a long time. It's 25 years now. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Fads. We've made more of a deal out of digital than we should have at times. This is not one of those times to misjudge AI. It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
What is crazy? What's the most crazy thing right now, like in the AI world, that you think like?
Yeah, I mean, AI, it's not a tool. AI can come up with ideas. It can come up with a decent 6.5 out of 10 idea. It really can. It can help with the celebrities you choose and why they're right for something. A Super Bowl ad, for instance.
Right.
It can do a lot of things. What?
But when you say, sorry if I hold here, but when you say can come up with idea,
Yeah.
you do understand that the idea AI is coming up with is a regurgitation of thousand or thousand or
Yeah.
thousand of bits of existing
Yeah.
idea that have been mashed together.
Let me go there, because I was just about to say exactly that.
Right.
So AI is doing that. It's taking ad constructs and formulas, and it'll do things like there's a better way to blank blank blank. It's still it can do a mantra, a
Right.
manifesto,
Yeah.
and it can do a lot. It really can. It can often do, you know, if a team presents some ideas, you know, AI alone can do like that thing. I'd put it this way. AI could do an idea that is like, yeah, you know what? Hold on to that. Like maybe we present it if we're in a pinch. Like maybe
Right.
we present that as the third idea. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
It's going to get a little better, but let me vouch for humans for a second. We're doing something where we want to get up to 50% creativity. We just
Right.
hired 18 creatives
Right.
across North America, which comes down to what I fundamentally believe, that only human beings, and this comes back to what you were saying about regurgitation and what AI is looking at, only human beings can do what no human beings have done before.
Right.
That's true. Only human beings can do
There is
it.
also certain kind of like, I give an example. I think like when I look at the eye and the regurgitation and like, of course, like the way everything is mashed together, regurgitated like in a very logic and like in a very brilliant manner, no matter the level of the engine of the eye, right?
Mhm.
But it's still a regurgitation. It's still like a beautiful pre-cooked meal. And I know that in the industry, to have pre-cooked meal is useful because
Yeah.
you walk into a presentation and you don't just cook in front of like your client. You don't always present fresh ideas. You present pre-cooked meal, right? But there is a certain level of like humanity and there is a certain level of age that humanity has that it cannot be owned by anyone else but humans. So, give an example. I remember like one of my favorite commercial from the good old days was a Jonathan Glazer commercial for Volkswagen. It's called Riots.
Hmm.
And the idea was very, very simple. The idea was, but also very weird. It was
tell me.
for the old commercial, for the old minutes, you will see people beaten to death with baseball bat, with like people in fires, people like in flames, like, it's called Riots. And what would you notice is like people will try to defend themselves by getting smaller.
This is my favorite. You're describing my
Right.
favorite commercial ever.
Right.
Do you know
Get
that?
this
This
more.
is my favorite
Yeah,
commercial.
it's my favorite too,
I didn't
right?
know it's called
Right.
Riots.
It's called Riots, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And it has what I call, when I tell
And-
teams, can I tell you?
Yeah.
So what I call this, I call it a finish line.
Yeah, the inside.
The-
Have you
the-
ever
the fi-
wondered?
The finish, yeah. Do you ever notice? And this is the
Exactly.
finish line I give to all teams. This it's so funny.
Yeah.
Your favorite ad is my favorite ad.
Yeah.
Actually, it is my favorite ad.
Oh.
Do you ever notice how safe you feel when you make yourself small?
Yeah. Oh, wait,
And-
I think
and-
it was. Have you ever noticed that we get more when you feel in danger? But it was something like, yeah. But
No,
it's
that's what I said.
it's what I say probably. Yeah, no, you're probably right. But the sense.
I'm right because I give it to teams
The
12
sense,
times.
the sense is like I remember when I remember like the day it came out there. I remember I was in Rome. It never left my mind, right? And I think like
AI is not going to do that.
never gonna
okay,
do
so
that.
no,
Never gonna do
I,
that. You know what I mean? That's a
I don't know
lateral
never.
thinking.
I don't know never, but I know now because I have teams use it. I use it. It's not capable of that right
Exactly.
now, but it could be close. It could be close, but what I'll tell you what AI doesn't have. AI does not have 80 years of ads to look back on the Coldplay scandal
Right.
that just happened. There are no ads on that.
Right. But also like AI doesn't have your childhood, for instance. You as a creative, right?
AI
You just told me this, right?
Absolutely.
Like the beautiful story about your childhood, like you scribbling, like finding this spot behind your bed, and scribbling and
Yes.
painting and drawings and trying to shut everything out. You like they will never get that. That's so personal.
It's better. It's better than I thought. So
Right.
it is because I spent a lot of time with it, but it just cannot do things that are relevant in culture. We do things where it's like we don't do idea. If you could do the idea 2 years ago, we generally don't present it. If you could do it 2 years from now, we generally don't present it. We try to find relevance.
Right.
Like final boss haircut, right? A beat stuff,
Right.
right? Relevance, ownability to the brand, and you try to put it together. AI, when we did a Heinz puzzle years ago, it started a whole series of
Right.
things for us where it's like we had a puzzle that was just a color red. And it was the slowest puzzle ever. So, and it came at a time when people were doing puzzles because of COVID. Sorry to bring it back there, but like people were doing puzzles, it was annoying, right? So we connected something very, very relevant in culture. We connected it to something ownable, slow. We made the world's slowest puzzle. Now this is not a thing that AI has mastered yet. Believe me,
Yeah,
we've
of
tried.
course,
We've
of
tried.
course,
We've tried.
of
We've
course.
tried to
But like
experiment with it.
there's many examples. Like when I was working in London, uh, I idolized an agency called HHCL,
Sure.
and I was lucky enough to work with one of the founder, Steve Henry. He was my creative director at TBW London, and I remember one of the commercial that I idolized the most. It was for pot noodle, and the tagline was like the slut of snacks. And it was coming
I
from
used to love the pot noodle stuff.
yeah, and the tagline, the slut of snack, came from like a strategy line. But it was such an insight because those guys from HHCL, they used to party a lot, and they knew what Hangover felt like. And they knew that when you get home at 3 o'clock at night, completely hammered, and you open up like a pot noodle cup,
Yeah.
you feel filthy. You feel like a slut, you know? And you want like a snack that feel like a slut.
I've been there.
Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's why the line was the slut of snack. I mean, there are many, myriads of examples where you see the humanity in it. You see the people struggling on it. You see people's story, people's journey, people's childhood in it. Like, you know, and I think that's what we own. I mean, Salman Rushdie, a great writer, a great Indian writer, says like we are the only species on planet Earth that gather around the fireplace and share story. There is no other species that has this habit of sharing stories,
Except lizards.
except lizards.
That's
But
your
you know what I
book.
mean?
That's
It's
your
like-
book. That's your
the
book. You're,
That's
you're
my
ready?
book. That's ready. It's
What is
like
it? Lizard People? What's it
Lizard
called?
Life.
Lizard Life. Buy it on Amazon.
But now you have to grab.
So
a
let me
copy.
guess. This is gonna. You're using this. Lizard Life, everyone. Buy it on Amazon.
The vast majority of messages tossed into the ocean and never recover. Currents carry them into vast ocean vortex where they become part of the garbage patches. Now, despite this, they hope that someone on the other side of the continent or of the shore can find the message remain etched in our hearts. It's kind of fascinating, and it's a very romantic thought. If you were to write a message for a young creative standing right now on the opposite side of the shore, on the other side of the Atlantic, what would be the first line?
Your fuck ups are going to be the best thing to happen to you.
I like that.
I've when I was a young creative, got fired a few times, and I'm going to tell you, every fuck up I've had in my career, whether I fucked up a pitch, fucked up a brief, fucked up a relationship, pissed off an account person, and it got back to people, all my fuck ups have shaped who I am. And those are the best things.
Yeah.
Those
you
are the
fuck up.
best things that happen.
I agree with you.
Is when you fuck up,
Yeah.
and the worse you fuck up, the more you don't want it to happen again. So you create the conditions in your life, your personality, your relationships. This is like also in outside advertising. You create those conditions, and you learn and you grow. And when you're faced with a similar situation, you do the opposite of fucking up. You excel.
Right.
So I always look at it. I always look at it as it's a great thing. There's a saying, everything is everything, the good and the bad, and I find myself saying this in life. It's actually I'm friends with this guy Dave Medlock, who happens to be married to an advertising star, Judy John. And
Oh, I had Judy John twice on my podcast.
yeah, so she's amazing. I had her on my podcast, she's become a bit of a friend. You know, she was just at my house, and
Oh yeah,
but
because she lives in Toronto.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So everything is everything, and I just find myself saying this all the time. You know, it's like, oh, we did, like recently we didn't get something, and there's like probably some reasons why, and I'm like, everything is everything. You know, it's going to be good. Ultimately, it'll be good that we didn't get that thing,
Right.
because we're going to learn something from it.
Right.
So, and also if something's really amazing, maybe it, you know, like
Right.
it might not be. So you just kind of just keep it level. Everything is everything.
Good. Rio de la Plata is a large estuary that empties into the Atlantic Ocean. I love the verb to empty and the imagery it evokes, like a mass of water pouring into a vast mass of water, emptying itself to regenerate into something else. Not to be too philosophical here, but I think I just described what happened with inspiration. So my question is like, what inspired you, and what kind of estuary are you using? What kind? Would you take your water to then like pour into like a vast mass of like waters?
Sure. That sounds a lot like what inspires you outside of the business.
Yeah, it's like I found like, it's funny because sometimes like I interview so many people in the business, right? But I noticed that there is this common denominator that life and work overlap so much that they are not able to disconnect anymore their work to their lives. And so everything they say always revert to the work.
Not me.
Not you, but I was saying it's like, I've noticed this pattern.
Yeah.
And it's a natural pattern when you do something that you love. Of course, there is an overlapping, but I think also like the danger is like that your mind narrow. The border of your mind like, gets smaller and shrink. Because all you do is just like living in this kind of like eclipses, right?
Yeah.
Like, there is the sun of your life, of your existence that is like going over. Like, anyway. I do a lot of drugs, but like, yeah, no, I mean, it's like, just stop.
I broke the wall. I broke the wall.
Fuck.
Oh,
What
I
inspired
want to
you?
see a clip of that. I want a clip of that sent to me.
What inspired you?
Just like in the middle of this question, just like, I do a lot of drugs. Send that to me. Send it to me. That's my favorite moment of this. So listen. I think there's a lot of things that just really have nothing to do with this business, where I just get fuel from, and with AI here, and even just relating back to my childhood and the speed of ideas and being creative fast. There's something that refreshes my brain, and it's been going on a long time. It's a television show called South Park.
Oh, I love it, man. That's a great television show.
South Park does the thing that I mentioned before that we do. You find something relevant,
Yeah.
right? And they've been doing it forever. I just saw
For a long
some.
time.
I just saw something about a futuristic Japanese toilet. I happen to have that toilet. I happen to have a futuristic Japanese toilet. They weren't around a long time ago, right, when South Park started. But now they're there with all these little squirting things and
Right.
dryers, and it's amazing. I have one. And I saw an episode recently where it's like they're talking about Japanese toilets. It's really funny, and but they connect it to what's ownable about their brand, the sense of humor, the weirdness,
Right.
the characters, the animation. It's and they mash them together, and they come up with an episode in 5 days.
I love it.
So and they'll do it whether it's politics. They've been doing it for 20 years or more. Whether it's a celebrity that's the hottest thing ever, or anything in culture, and that's how they're staying. That's why they're staying on top.
I love it.
And it's a good lesson for all of us to look for things like that, speed to market. It's the way we'll beat AI, is to look at things like that and adopt a similar philosophy and structure in
South
the agency
Park.
world.
It's great,
Yeah.
man. Last question.
Yeah.
You're the global chief credit officer of an agency whose very name is a verb. Rethink.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rethinking can take many shapes and forms, including changing course and charting a new route for the ship you're sailing. If you were to switch coordinates and completely rethink your career, what path would you choose?
I was talking to my friend and partner, Mike Dubrick, about this recently, and there's not much. There's not much. You know, I could not be an accountant or a lawyer. I couldn't do any of these things. Advertising is a bit of the. I still think it's this way, and it has always been this way. It's a business for misfits and weirdos and people with weird childhoods, and people who are good at making their friends laugh.
Right.
They're good at being the one in the group that makes all their friends laugh. The people that can read a room, and people who are generally unable to sit behind a desk and just sit and look at charts and do it. Advertising people are generally not the CFO type. I mean, I'm talking about the creatives. Now, what I was talking to Mike about was this very topic. If I had to do something else, it'd be adjacent. It would be adjacent.
Like one thing,
Like
it
writing
could be,
Saturday Night Live. Like writing on Saturday Night Live.
Or another thing it could be, just to end in circle
Yeah.
the way we open. Maybe you are the guy who sell the space in Times Square for a billboard. You're just selling that space. You own the billboard in Times Square,
Yeah.
and you are selling the billboard to advertising company. That could be your life, adjacent.
I don't think I want that to be my life. I like my life. I like my kids and my wife.
Gosh,
I like the people I work with. I love it, and I also love, despite sounding a bit jaded, which is what happens when you get a bit older in this business. But
Right.
despite
Cynical.
all that, it's still one of the greatest fucking businesses you can be in.
Yeah.
It's the again, something I talked about with my friend Mike. If you're in a room, you're at a party, and I'm sure this has happened to you before, where it's like everybody's saying, "Well, what do you do? What do you do?" It's
Right.
like I'm a neurophysicist. I work at Rico.
Right.
I work at Rico USA and the photo in the digital, the new realm. Like, no one cares. You know what they care about? They care about what you do.
Right.
There's a surgeon next to you, and they don't care of what the surgeon does. They're like, tell me about the ad you did for mattresses or soap.
Gosh.
Like that's what they want to talk about.
Yeah.
Is there a commercial you made that I know? Is it something I know?
Yeah.
You become the person that everyone wants to talk to, and that is really cool. That is still cool, right? That is it goes beyond money.
Yeah.
It's a great industry. I want to get back to some of that.
Go back to love.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Aaron.
Pleasure. This was
it
fun.
was like a really good conversation, and you had some really good moments. I loved it. Some of your answers were really. I love the honesty of it, and
There's only one way to be. Is
honest.
not full of shit. So.
Right. You can be also full of shit with. You know what Stephen King say? Good fiction is a lie. Great fiction is a lie with a true in it.
Oh, that's the same thing with comedy.
Exactly.
Right? The best jokes are like, there's a real, there's a truth. Like when Norm Macdonald, one of my heroes, like, I know he's not talking. Yeah, he's a Canadian, and I know he's not talking about, his family or but there's a truth. There's a real truth in it. It's a lie, but there's truth.
Right.
you know.
Thank you so much, man. Thank
Pleasure.
you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.